But, this is my only time I can do this, probably, and, I mean, there's just too much to fucking talk about, obviously. It's war, people. It's war. He told you it was gonna be war, and it's war. So I'm trying to clip some shit from this. My clip farming has been going pretty well, actually. I think the secret to the clip farming was people like my shirt. People like the striped, the white, black striped shirt. They thought it made me look emo. One guy said I looked like Pete Wentz's more artistically talented brother. Hey, I'll take it. I mean, that's a nice thing to say, but, I mean, as if I could be more artistically talented than Pete Wentz. I mean, that's absurd. We're easing into it here. I mean, obviously there's a lot to talk about, but so yeah, I've been clip farming, and, well, I clip farmed a stream from February 19th. And the thing, and you know, some of the things I said were pretty fucking dead on about this Iran thing. Not to toot my own horn or anything. It's something I always wondered why they never did on, like, I used to love Around the Horn and PTI, and that those whole shows are about making predictions. You know, who's going to win, what's going to happen at the NBA Finals, whatever the hell it is. The whole fucking show is these sports writers making predictions about what's going to happen, and they never followed up. They never said, oh, here's who was right, here's a clip of them being right. They just move on to the next shit, always. And it would have been interesting to know who was accurate, who actually was kind of the sharpest fucking commentator or whatever. And that's not why I was going through my stream. You know, I was just going through it to clip farm. And usually in a 2-hour stream, hopefully I get about 10 clips. And my clips have been doing pretty well on TikTok. I know nobody else wants to hear about this, but this is therapy for me, and I'm strategizing. This is a strategy meeting. A brand strategy meeting. So, like always, the things that do well on TikTok don't do well on YouTube and vice versa for whatever reason. And so, but surprisingly, my last round, and the rounds that I have done, I mean, it's hit or miss. A lot of the videos might only get like 6 likes or something, or 4 likes, but a lot of them get 25 likes or 40 likes or something. I mean, I know that's not a huge fucking, you know, a lot of these comedy fucking Instagram reels and shit, it's like they'll get 1 million views or something and just hundreds of thousands of likes. That's how you build your, like, celebrity now. Your internet micro celebrity is like posting Instagram reels. And so my ratio is pretty good. You know, I'm at like 5% likes or something. And I'm getting 400 or 500 or 600 views. Which, you know, might not sound like a lot for a TikTok, but like I'm performing well at those levels. And what I'm doing is a little bit different, you know? It's like the feel of this and clipping it out is a little different than your typical podcast with the microphone and or yapping talking head. It's a little bit more fluid. And like I said, these clips, they're not comprehensive. I don't necessarily nail the fucking subject to like the wall, but like I cover a lot of ground, and I usually am pretty fucking insightful about it. Um, like this war fucking thing. You know, I went back to see if I had any clips that like what I said about it. And there was one clip where I was talking about, I guess it's obvious to everybody why this is happening. It's clearly a distraction from the Epstein files, but it's also something that they've had planned, and I mean, Trump has been trying to get up Iran's ass since the first administration. He killed Soleimani, and he's way more confrontational. And anybody with two eyes can see that Trump is the one who is close with Netanyahu. It's his son in law's godfather. It's like during the election, Trump played possum that he was the peace candidate, and he was sort of like the anti Zionist or anti war. He was going to stop Gaza. He got a ceasefire in whatever, 30 days or however long. He was going to stop Ukraine on day one. And, I mean, goddamn, it is fucking crazy what they did. It was more like a mafia hit, to be honest. They just took out the whole fucking top brass of Iran in one fell swoop, and they did it from like space with these targeted rockets or something. God knows. I mean, I guess we've shown them that we could do that before. Fucking Israel, is that how they killed Soleimani? They killed somebody from space. They had like some kind of space laser. We've talked about it before. The Jewish space lasers. It's well documented. And I think it's like, in a certain way, I suppose it is like the quickest way to just vaporize your opposition is just kill all of the fucking people in charge before they even know what the fuck hit them, without even asking Congress or, they don't want to give away our plans. That's the excuse they keep using. It's like, well, we don't want to announce this and we don't want to talk about this publicly because we don't want the enemy to know our plans. It's like, there's a fucking excuse they have for everything. There's a reason why this guy at the Pentagon is a Fox News fucking douchebag, because it's like they just have a goddamn talking point for everything. That doesn't make it right. Well, if we talked about it, then they would know our plans. Like, you're the one in the fucking signal chat, bro. Hegseth is the one using an unsecured fucking, like, WhatsApp. He's sending his war plans out via Instagram DMs. There's a Facebook chat. So, I don't know. They're just doing it without even asking us, without even telling anybody. It's like they did with Venezuela. They just went in and sort of took out the leadership, cut off the head of the dragon. I guess that's their thinking, but it leaves a power vacuum, right? It's like, what's going to happen? Who's going to fill that vacuum? Is it up to the Iranians? What are we committed to now? What are we committed to? A long quagmire a la Afghanistan? I mean, that was, a lot of Trump's fucking campaign rhetoric was built on, like, disowning the Republicans started fucking wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's amazing they convinced the American people that the Republican Party was like the anti-war party, because anybody with two fucking eyes can see that the last fucking major wars were started by Bush. But Biden's a war hawk because they sent weapons to Ukraine, or, they're between a rock and a hard place with Israel. They did the best they could. I mean, let's not get into the whole genocide and ceasefire and all that. Because that was right-wing rhetoric to split the Democrat vote. Nothing the Democrats do is good enough, and everything the Republicans do is the Democrats' fault. Kamala would have done the same thing, is what Hassan Piker is saying. If Kamala was president, it'd be worse. It's like, it's all bad. It's all fucking bad. I mean, unless you're not paying attention. Like, whose lives are better than they were a year and a half ago? Maybe your life is not substantially worse. Maybe I just am obsessed with politics. And I just, like I was watching the Shia LaBeouf interview. It was okay. And he's like, yo, I'm out in the streets, bro. Who gives a fuck? I don't have time for that shit. Real people out in the streets, we don't care about politics. Trump, Kamala. I asked Kendrick Lamar. He's like, who gives a fuck? I'm out in the streets, bro. Nobody out here gives a fuck. It's like, they're all Trumpers. They might as well be. Like, we give a fuck. We care. It affects, I don't know. Maybe I'm in too much social media, too many videos about how there's no jobs. It's a historically bad job market. AI is going to Terminator 2 our asses. I'm trying to find, see, this is kind of cool. This pillow, the texture of this pillow is a little too, I don't know. So there's a lot to talk about, people. There's a lot to talk about here in Lifestyles. We got another fantastic edition of Lifestyles. So my point when I'm talking about my TikTok views, I feel like I'm in a breakthrough. I feel like people are going to start listening. Is that insane? Is that delusional? I just had one person tune in and tune off. There's a chick in TikTok, Chloe in NYC. She literally doesn't do anything. She's got 500 viewers just watching her. Just like she's literally watching fucking TV on her live stream. She's not saying anything. She's not being entertaining. She's just wearing a top that, like, 500 viewers. Just 500 dudes. 500 incels. Just male gazing, gooning. I can't get one fucking person to listen to my prescient opinions about politics, world. I mean, the reason why I talk about it is because it affects our fucking lives. At least the poor people, which is like most of us. Like they have used. The Epstein files are about more than what they're about. If you pull that thread, Epstein's just the fall guy. I saw this video about, since the 90s, they have basically used the federal government to line their own pockets, saddle America with all of this fucking debt, and it's been a huge wealth transference. You know, like America's what, $50 trillion in debt or something like that, and they trace bit by bit how through the various stimulus packages, things they changed in the budget, things in the budget that now are secret, the Pentagon budget. I think this is something we're finding out with this Iran war is America spends a lot of money, supposedly, on defense, and yet we actually, like they said something, we don't have enough munitions to fight this war or something. It's like, what? Where's the money going? Like, that's half of our fucking budget. And it's like, They don't even have bullets? What the fuck are they spending the money on? And the answer is it's literally just like money laundering. It's all just money laundering. They're laundering money out of, and this is what Epstein did. This is one reason why Epstein is significant. It's not just that they're fucking children, although that's horrific. That's a metaphorical embodiment of what they're doing to all of us on a mass scale by laundering, this is why he had an island in the Virgin Islands. It's an offshore tax shelter. And that's what this guy did. He was a financial fixer. He helped Les Wexner figure out how to not pay taxes. And not only that, but how to get the government to subsidize their fucking business and pay for it. Through tax rebates, through fucking, a lot of this fucking stimulus money went to stock market, crypto. That's all just fucking money laundering. Tesla. It's like they make all of their fucking money on these government contracts, which are massive. And so it's like they don't even really do what they purport to do. They just have like the semblance. It's a space program, SpaceX. It's like, yeah, we're going to go to Mars. So I need $700 billion fucking dollars. And so the idea is basically they've transferred all of the money out of the fucking government, out of the tax money. And it's like, this makes sense to me. I worked in this restaurant right downtown. And my fucking job interview was in Trump Tower. It was an insanely expensive restaurant. It was one of the 10 most expensive restaurants in New York. And the whole place was just a sham. It was a total ripoff. And the guy who owned it was this Japanese guy who literally was not allowed in Japan. He had to flee the country because he ripped off the pension of all of his employees or something. He ripped off all these like senior retirement funds. I don't know exactly. He had some business. I don't know. And so he stole all of the fucking retirement funds to get rich. And this is a recurring scheme that you see. A lot of these fucking financial swindlers. It's like they go after the pension funds, the Social Security, because it's a lot of fucking money. It's all of the money people saved their whole life, basically. And so it's a juicy, fat goose. And so this guy was not allowed in Japan. He was literally like wanted because he ripped off all these fucking pension funds. And his restaurant was like a club. It was like Mar-a-Lago. It was a sleazy clubhouse for people to bring prostitutes, cheesy fucking people who made money in nefarious ways, most of whom were like really nefarious or really skeezy. Saudi royalty, Russian oil, fucking criminals, Hollywood scum, porn people. Not that they're bad. The night I quit, I was supposed to wait on Donald Trump Jr. And he didn't even show up. How pathetic is that? That shows you how pathetic this restaurant was. They couldn't even get Donald Trump Jr. to show up. But it purported to be like this high-end, like, it was a ripoff of Tao or whatever the fuck that place is. Like a nightclub sushi, but expensive and God, it was it was hellish. It was abusive nightmare. Very low vibration. But the staff was great. And to be honest, it was a weird kind of imperfect, like, socialism. Well, the whole thing was a ripoff because they charged all this money and the tips were astronomical, but they paid all the workers. They split all the tips and these really, like, they paid the sushi chefs out of the fucking, they paid the wine sommelier out of the tips. It's like, These are people that probably should have been on a salary or an hourly wage, and we were paying their salaries, basically. Not that the money wasn't horrible. It was probably the most money I ever fucking made at a job, and it was all on the books. It was all, like, taxed and shit. So I got, like, a huge tax rebate or whatever at the end of the year. But it was just a really dysfunctional, calamitous. And so I don't know. It gave me some little insight into the power elite, or these, a lot of rich people are just scummy people. They don't have manners. They're fucking weird. They're hopped up on something. I remember waiting on this one guy. Man, I don't know. He was like a character. He had all this energy. He was like a Tim Heidecker character. He was kind of pudgy. He kept wanting Diet Coke. Anybody who drinks Diet Coke, I don't know what they're putting in the fucking Diet Coke, but, this guy was obnoxious. He talked over everybody, didn't listen to anything. I think he had a headset, which in 2012, that was like, you had to be a real asshole to have them. Certain people you wait on, it's like they keep wanting you at the table. They keep asking for things, like you're their little servant. It's like the best tables you really only have to go to 3 times. You get their drinks, you get their order, you bring the food, you ask if they need anything else, you ask for the check. It's like, that's it. You don't need to be at the table fucking 16 times unless somebody is just being an asshole and they think you're their fucking servant. And, I remember this guy. And he was rich. His bill was like $600. I think he tipped okay. I don't think he, like, stiffed me on the tip, which some people do. Some people run your ass and order a bunch of weird shit, and then they don't tip you at all. We won't name any names. But these people want to set up our society that way. They want to steal all of our money. That's what they're doing, basically, with this huge wealth transference, with things like the stimulus package. However, these giant defense budgets that just go to Palantir or AI fucking companies fucking spying on people, surveillance economy. Probably things like Google and Facebook are probably getting some kind of fucking... I mean, the whole stock market is basically like a money laundering thing at this point. It's like... They just, they drive the fucking prices up because they have to put this money somewhere. So it's like, yeah, they buy Tesla, the price goes up because they have way too much fucking money. They take everybody's wages, they take the value that we create, and they use it on their fucking gambling habits. It's no coincidence that our society has, like, FanDuel in this, like, they want to hook kids on, like, gambling for some reason. Because it's like, that's what the fucking stock market is, to some degree. Even Epstein, like, doesn't understand it. He's a financial genius, and they're asking about this shit, and it's like, he doesn't even know. Nobody knows. Because it's like playing cards. There's nothing to know. It's just, what can you get people to believe? What can you swindle people out of? Oh, we want to short sell. It's like, it's gambling. It's like people will gamble on anything. I wanted to talk about this predictive gambling. Now you can bet on literally anything. It's like, that is not healthy. Like, there were people betting, like, some guy won a bunch of money betting that the Iran war was going to happen. Like, predictive markets now. You can literally put money on, like, politics, things that are happening. Is Trump going to win the election or Hillary? Or Kamala or whatever. Like, why not? Let's make it interesting. It's just, there's not enough juice in it for me. I gotta make it it's like Michael Jordan. It's like, oh, I'll bet you $200 I can make this in the trash can. Everything's gotta be, I bet you $200 next car that goes by is black. It's like, you got a fucking problem. That's society now. It's like, it's the only way to make money is like some ripoff scheme. Like I saw this article, crypto, some crypto guy. All of the worst people in the world made all of this money through fucking crypto. And they live in New York and they start Sovereign House. And it's like, oh, how you got instantly rich through some kind of meme coin or NFT or something. Like that. Turn that down a little bit. Okay. I'm in bed today. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I'll probably get on tomorrow too, but I just wanted to riff and get my thoughts out while it's fresh. I mean, it does feel like you got to respond to this stuff immediately as it's happening, but it also feels like this stuff holds up. I mean, like I was saying, I clipped a lot of that shit from February 19th, and like, I was pretty fucking on the money about all this shit. The Board of Peace. What a joke. Who the fuck starts a Board of Peace right before? I mean, I think he thinks he is causing peace, I guess. Because Iran just slaughtered all these people, right? 30,000 fucking people or something. Which is insane to think about. I mean, that's almost as many fucking people as Gaza, to be honest. Gaza, I heard, is like, what, 67,000 people or something? Which is horrible. How many people? I don't know. I think the reports vary, depending who you ask. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. How many people have been killed in Gaza? $75,000 deaths. 73,000 Palestinians, 2,000 Israelis. So, I mean, 30 fucking thousand people got killed in Iran. Not that it's a contest, but they always start these wars in fucking February. It kind of is a weird, it's a weird rhyme. You know, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. It's a weird rhyme. Just like everything Trump does. It's like what Putin did in Ukraine. Into February, beginning of kind of like the spring, this is the time to invade. In the Northern Hemisphere, gives you the most time with like the best logistics, I guess. And it's all time to like, you know, for Trump, it's all like about the media cycle, and they did it real late at night. I mean, I woke up Saturday morning, I looked at my phone. First thing I saw, U.S. strikes Iran. It's war on Drudge. And then the details kind of came out throughout the day that they killed the fucking supreme leader. And in fact, they killed Ahmadinejad. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Ahmadinejad. The guy who was president like 20 years ago. They fucking killed him. So they just killed everybody. I mean, this is something I talked about in my stream a few weeks ago, is like, it's like The Godfather, right? When this is how Trump sees himself. You know, there's a few movies that he's watched. The Godfather, one of them. He kind of patterns himself off The Godfather. And what happens at the end of the first Godfather? Michael Corleone whacks everybody. He takes out all these hits on the 5 families while his daughter's getting baptized. You know, so there's this contradiction between the religion and the sin. And I think Trump, this is his Godfather montage where he's making himself the Godfather. He's making himself the Don. And I think people are seeing it's like, this now affects everybody. This isn't just our problem. You know, Trump could go anywhere, fuck with anybody, just kill all their leadership like that. Just stamp them out like bugs from outer space with fucking Space Force. And he's just going to do it. There's going to be no warning. It's just going to be like a mafia hit. Just boom, boom, boom. Fucking Goodfellas montage with De Niro. You know, they're gonna end up dead in their Cadillac. Ice pick 'em. Maduro got him. So 1, 2, 3. So it's like Project 2025 was domestic. Project 2025 was destroy the federal government, cut everything, fire everybody, put all our people in positions, tax cut, domestic, ICE, set it up. 2026 is international. Now we're taking Doge, we're taking MAGA, we're taking Trump, psycho, fucking president by fear, narcissistic psychopath. That's what Epstein said Trump was in his emails. He was talking to like a psychiatrist, diagnosing him, narcissistic psychopath. Now it's everybody's fucking problem. You know, boom, we're in Venezuela. We're fucking with China's oil supply, right? They get their oil from Venezuela and Iran. The Strait of Hormuz. Boom, boom. So we're fucking with China. And, you know, Trump is an ornery fucking guy. It's not a surprise. It's been building to this. You know, his first term, he didn't get in and start doing this shit. It's taken a decade to build up to this. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. His first term, he tried to sick the National Guard on people. And they wouldn't do it. I don't think we're having an election. It's not happening. These these international provocations are just like the ICE shit, where if he's sending people to cause turmoil, if they fight back, if anybody retaliates, he will use that to escalate and to bring the fucking hammer down on them. He wants to escalate. He wants to get into chaos and conflict and war. It's just no one has, the ICE thing, the protests came out against it, and it was very publicly unpopular. And so they sort of backed down. But next time they won't back down. You know, it's going to escalate. The decisions he's making are going to get more and more unpopular. And when he decides to call off the elections, that's when the shit is going to hit the fan. They can't allow midterms to happen. Like, what they're doing now is so unpopular. Like, they know that this is their time to make a move. Like, they don't care. It's governed by non-consent. You know, this is one reason why all these sexual assault allegations, they're horrific in their own right, and grab them by the pussy. It's because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. This is his mentality. Just take it. Just kill him. Don't ask anybody. Don't ask the Congress. Don't tell anybody. It's got to be a secret. It's our little hit job. And, you know, I'm sure he's done this before. He whacked his ex-wife, and who knows? And so this is just on an international scale. And so, boom, kill all of them. If they try to do shit, he'll use that as an excuse to get us deeper. Oh, well, they fucking attacked us. So my only surprise here is that they didn't do some kind of false flag operation, really. They didn't do 9/11 or... I guess Trump feels like he doesn't need that. You know, like with Bush, I think they wanted to create this permanent war economy, this atmosphere of fear, paranoia, violence could happen anywhere, religious war. They wanted to reignite that. Christianity versus Islam. I mean, had that been really, you know, because they want to get people on the side of Israel against the Arabs, against the Muslims, the Christian and the Jew. We're on the same team here, people. And they had to upstage the fucking Clinton testimony. Notice how no one is talking about that at all anymore. Bill Clinton testified on fucking Friday about Epstein. And he basically said, you know, he knew this guy, he never had sex with any of these women. I don't even know what he said. Did they post it online? You know, they posted the fucking Les Wexner testimony. They didn't post the Hillary or the Bill testimony. And Hillary's fucking press conference was dope. I like Hillary. I feel like they slime the fuck out of the Clintons because they, I don't know, they try to sort of do good shit for poor people. I don't fucking know. That was my impression of it as a poor person. I mean, there's certain things that I wonder about. Glass-Steagall or NAFTA or Clinton ended welfare. What is the real story there? Now, looking back, you know, I was a child at the time, so I was sort of paying attention, but I didn't really know exactly what was going on. I remember when he brought Arafat and Itzhak Rabin to the fucking White House and they shook hands. That was like that was early in his administration. I think we watched it in school. It was like a big fucking deal, actually, to quote Joe Biden, to paraphrase. But now it's just like, I mean, he was president when he signed NAFTA. He ended welfare. He signed Glass-Steagall. Like, I'm curious because 94, I think, is when Newt Gingrich and the Republicans took over the House of Representatives for the first time in like decades, like literally since the New Deal or something. The House of Representatives had been Democrat forever during the best times in American history. Surprise, surprise. And then Newt Gingrich, the contract with America, and Rush Limbaugh, and that whole wave of kind of neocon came in. And that is when it became more about downsizing, cutting entitlements. I don't know if they had the word entitlement back then. Welfare queen, and that kind of thinking. It was before 9/11, so the defense budget wasn't necessarily like, I mean, it was still massive, but we weren't in this like hawkish, you know, Clinton was not necessarily hawkish like every fucking Republican president, basically, except maybe Reagan. And I would say best case scenario with Trump is these operations remain like these small kind of tactical things that he's committed so far, and he's able to, I don't know, clean up whatever the fuck he wants to clean up that way. To be honest, it was kind of a remarkable display of the power of the fucking military that just like, it was a surprise to me as I'm reading the fucking news throughout the day. Like, wow, they killed everybody from I don't even know where. Like, they just wiped them all out. Like, they killed the fucking supreme leader. They killed fucking the guy who used to be president. They killed a lot of the top the top people. It's like, Jesus Christ. They whacked them. They whacked the Tatalias, the head of the Bazzini. What are the other fucking families in The Godfather? Bazzini. And so Trump's making moves. And I think people get on board with it. All these fucking people who said they were anti-war and they didn't vote for this, they are gonna fucking eat it up. They'll change their fucking tune because they'll play a different tune. It's like, the talking points will be like, well, this needed to happen or they're better off or something. Because those people, I mean, Trump never meant it. It's a surprise to me that Bill Maher goes on his show and talks about, oh, Trump hates war. Trump hates war. It's like, where the fuck do you get that idea? He wanted people to beat up reporters and shit. Like he's a thug. And now he's got, the most powerful military apparatus ever conceived at his fucking mercy and his disposal. And there's no checks and balances. There's no guardrails. We're Trump maxing. All these Gen Z fucking idiots who voted for him. Gen Z males. I mean, a lot of fucking people, everybody volunteered for Iraq war and Afghanistan. The only thing that was the saving grace for people like me was there was no draft. If 9/11 would have happened and they would have drafted people into those fucking wars, holy shit. That's probably, it became a paycheck. It became a career for a lot of poor people in this country. They want to limit your options. If you want to go to college, you got to join the military. It's not a draft per se. It's more like making you economically desperate so you have no other choice, or it's your best choice. And then they do tons of shit to glamorize it and make it seem like, see the world, or it's going to be fun. It's going to be like Call of Duty. I don't know what the fuck people think when they enlist. I mean, you make money, and if you do it right, you can make, whatever, high 5 figures. If you become an officer, that's a whole other story, I guess. That's, a lot of officers are like rich, really. And it's about time for another war. They ended the last one, and although there's these little proxy wars that we're not really involved in Ukraine, in Gaza, wherever, we need there's a new generation that needs to be fucked up. What are we gonna do with all these incels? How are we gonna... The American economy is a war economy. The defense budget is half the fucking budget. It's like you can't have that with no alternatives. So it's like they have to justify it. They have to get people scared enough that, like, yeah, we need security. We need to be safe. Protect us. And so they're kicking the fucking hornet's nest. I mean, they're talking about their sleeper cells and shit. There's Iranian sleeper cells, potentially, here and there that are gonna maybe retaliate. Like I said, I think the Trump people want that. They want to kind of... Because then it's like self-defense. Then we can stand our ground. It's a stand our ground type situation. Who was that guy in Florida? George... Trayvon Martin. It's insane. It's the same thinking. He attacked me. I had to blow him away. Trump said he has some plan. If they assassinate him, he told people what to do. He's got some plan, and there'll be nothing left. They'll just level Iran, I guess. If they try to do anything against him personally. It's like, I do think Trump will end the world. He will bring the entire planet down with him. He's that much of a narcissist. He's that much, like Epstein said in the email, you never corner a rat. Trump is a malignant, narcissistic psychopath. Epstein said in 2018, right, that he thought Trump would bomb Iran to cause a distraction because you don't want to corner a rat. If Epstein was like, whoa, watch out for this guy, What does that say about him? Epstein said he was evil. It's like, that's bad. That's real bad. This guy is like worldwide scale, like toxic. And so he is so self-centered and such a fucking narcissist and vindictive, and like he just wants to get retribution on people. I think he would bomb the entire fucking planet into extinction just to fuck you everybody else. And to be honest, they've given him that capability. You know, the Supreme Court, the Republicans in the House and in Congress and the Senate, they've made him immune. And so, like this, he can do this. He can do all the dirty business they've wanted to do, but have been shackled by like decorum and sort of like the tug of war between the left and right. Now Trump, who's the bad kid, he's the Eddie Haskell, he's the psychopath, he's the little kid that like tortures animals, lights things on fire. He'll go in and just fucking snipe these motherfuckers out. And who knows how fucking far it'll go. It's already unpopular, I would say. I mean, it's going to be hard for these people to walk back their talking points. There's been so much fucking outspoken rhetoric about how Trump is anti-war. I mean, it was one of his prime notes of appeal. All of the fucking left people who were sort of like, oh, Gaza and Kamala and Biden are genocide, and Ukraine, we don't like that. Now, you know, NATO is the aggressor, and Ukraine, and they're provoking Putin, and they're war hawks. Biden and Kamala are war hawks. If Kamala gets elected, we'll be in World War III. People literally said this. And they are timing this shit out. They know what it means. You know, like Netanyahu, they timed that shit out so Biden would have to own it. Right? They're going to put him in this position politically and drive that wedge in. And now that Trump's elected, okay, we have a ceasefire. It's over. And they're starting this fucking war, whatever, 8 or 9 months before the midterms. They need to amp it up, you know, so by the time the midterms happen, boom, they can crash that shit. There will be no election. They will not give people the chance, you know, because it's unpopular. How can you deny that the guy lied to people? He's been so vocal about how he's anti-war. Like I said, they will do mental gymnastics. They will contort, and they'll figure out a way to justify this. Just like they did with Iraq. You know, people were not against that at the time. Republicans, it was a good thing we got rid of Saddam Hussein. Maybe the war was like not a great idea, but it was better. We're better off without Saddam Hussein, is what people say. They'll say the same shit about this. They'll be like, we're better off without Ayatollah. I mentioned the fucking Ayatollah in December on my fucking stream. About they were going to do the same thing to him that they did to fucking Maduro, basically. Only worse. Maduro's still alive. He's chilling in Brooklyn. He's got a nice Brooklyn one-bedroom. He can't exactly take advantage of all the local amenities that Brooklyn has to offer, but he's there. I can't even get a fucking apartment in Brooklyn. Maduro's set up. He's got a one-bedroom. He's got his own bathroom. Nice little micro apartment. They feed him. That's taxpayer dollar, by the way. We're clip farming. I know no one is watching. This is really just a taping. I did the clown symposium yesterday. It felt good. I posted the video. Not really a whole lot of people. I mean, it's more for the archive. But I'd never been to Baker Falls before. What a cool place. My God. Amazing. I recommend people go to the Clown Symposium. It's just, I don't know, it's just a free, it's a nice form to be in. It doesn't, you don't have, I feel kind of hamstrung by certain things in stand-up comedy and certain things in poetry. Clown, you really feel like, I don't know, I'm just beginning to explore it, and it's kind of a fun space to be in. I did some pratfalls. I did some cartwheels. You got to give people a show, you know. So I got to use my body a little bit. Shout out Matthew Silver, who runs it. Thank you for doing it. May it live long and prosper. We need more clown infrastructure. So we're building clown infrastructure. We're building open mic infrastructure, community culture infrastructure in this face of possible World War IX. It's already started, I think. You know, it started in Ukraine invasion, really. And then Gaza. It's like the bigger nations are moving these things on a chessboard. You know, it's like Russia, United States, China, Venezuela, Iran, Ukraine, Gaza. These are like little chess pieces of the bigger, of the king. You know, the king is whatever. Is Israel the king? let's say United States, Israel. I don't even know who our allies are anymore. You know, that's the other thing about this, right? Is like, we don't have any allies. And we've alienated all of our fucking allies. Canada, Europe, NATO. And with Iraq, right, there was a coalition of the willing, or I forget what they called it, a coalition of the... So it's like we went into Iraq, all of us kind of shared... I mean, United States definitely had the biggest skin in the game. But Britain sent troops, right? A lot of European nations sent troops with us into Iraq, into Afghanistan. Blood is on their hands, too. They were also duped by Colin Powell at the UN and Bush and WMD and uranium cake. They got caked by the neocons. And Trump, people thought he's not a neocon, like he doesn't have the same fucking agenda. Like the neocons are different than Israel. Like they're not, you know, the same interest. It's a crusade that reignited in a weird way after 9/11. I don't know. Maybe it was there. Was World War II part of the Crusades? It didn't seem like there was like a Israel component necessarily to World War II. Or World War One, or, you know, has this holy war been going on the whole time in a way that I'm just not aware of? Or it felt like 9/11, it's like, boom, we're reigniting this. It's Christianity, it's Islamic terrorism, and we're going to the fucking Middle East to get oil. But, you know, is the Christianity the lie, or is the oil, like, what's the real motivation? Is it both? Do they actually believe the Christianity bullshit? You know, like, does George W. Bush actually believe? He maybe does, but does Dick Cheney or Donald Rumsfeld or Trump? You know, I think Trump probably believes he's the Messiah, but, you know, failing that, he'll take Antichrist. I think he'd be proud to be the Antichrist. It's not a bad gig. You know, and the Antichrist probably thinks he is Jesus. He thinks he's the chosen one. I think Trump definitely thinks that. And he's getting senile. And Biden's senility was one thing. He was relatively, you know, they safeguarded all the cabinets and shit. You know, Biden could only get into so... He was pretty sensible for somebody that was, you know, didn't have that much energy. You know, his administration was pretty good and strong, you know. People didn't really take that into account. They just thought, oh, he's Sleepy Joe. He can't do it. Look at him. He's in danger of getting blown over fucking like if a car drives by in the wake of like a strong wind. That can't be our president. Not America. Let's elect this other 80-year-old. Who's been sort of just like playing possum and sort of hiding in plain sight. He's working at McDonald's. He's doing YMCA. He's staging an assassination attempt. God damn it. What time is it? 1:50, so I need to leave. Okay, I'll do another. Oh, I haven't even done an hour yet. We'll see. We'll see how long this goes. Yeah, so best case scenario, this will be like last summer, right? When Israel bombed Iran. It happened last summer. I wrote about it in my poem that I read at Autos that nobody listened to. Last summer, how Israel was trying to drag us into this fucking war. Because it's really their I mean, once again, Christianity and Judaism, it's like there's this partnership, right? And we use Israel, right? There was this fucking Biden speech, I think, where he's talking about we need Israel, or like we use Israel as like, I don't know, as our interest in the region, as our colony in the region, let's just say that, to stabilize the region, to imperialize, to get their oil. Like, why the fuck do we care so much about the goddamn Middle East? It's always about the fucking Middle East. At least since Israel, did Israel cause all these fucking problems by, like, taking these people's land and, like, did the Middle East have these fucking problems before? Like, kinda, right? I mean, it's the Crusades. I don't know. It's been going on for thousands of fucking years, but the oil thing, like, is that the Bush family's getting rich off of it? House of Bush, House of Saud, like, they're buddies with Saddam, then they're not. Iran, oil rich. So it's like, it's definitely a business thing. But the religious thing, why else would the Jews be so eager to go back there? Right? Like, do they believe it? Like, Israel's a nice place from what I've heard. They try to make it like this super fun fucking place to visit where, like, you get your kibbutz and your, what is it, your birthright. And you go there on, American taxpayer dime. Or weird 700 Club donations and shit. And you go to techno festivals and you eat a bunch of good fucking food and whatever. It's this Mediterranean climate. And so I don't know why they are so interested in their own, because if it's dangerous, right? That's part of living there, is it's dangerous. Like, people get blown up. There's active, at least, maybe not everywhere. I've never been there, surprise, surprise. But it's like, there's regularly suicide bombers or this or that, like Gaza. Look at that. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, that happened there recently. Like, living there seems dangerous. October 7th, right? Like, these were people who were on birthright trips who were fucking at some EDM fucking, they shouldn't be having EDM festivals. I mean, you can, if you're going to take the land, at least be sensitive enough to not have, Steve Aoki play or fucking Deadmau5 or Skrillex. Be a little respectful, okay? Like, there was just a genocide. You don't need to be, raving and doing it Molly and shit. Like, it's fucking electric forest, or it's the Holy Land, okay? It's not Coachella. It's not electric forest. Have some respect for the stolen. At least we do a land acknowledgement here. We at least feel guilty about it. We're not like, I mean, I guess we have raves and shit too, but America's just one big rave on stolen land. And so they're just recreating America's crimes. They're stealing land and redrawing the boundaries all the fucking time, taking more and more of it. They're doing to Palestinians what we did to the Native Americans here, basically. Just keep moving them around as we want to until they gradually just sort of almost die out. Or like all they have is casinos or something. Or I don't know, like they'll probably still survive, but you know, their land will be minuscule compared to what they had originally. And I do want to talk more about just Epstein, how that fits into all of this. Because it does somehow. I mean, the Epstein class, I think, is like a useful term. Like, that has been exposed by these files where, like, you know, when they say things like half the wealth is in the hands of, 10 people or whatever it is, it's like, that's not just wealth, that's power, that's influence, and, like, I mean, think about the pandemic. When everybody got $20,000, how vibrant everything was. You know, how people were traveling, people were going to restaurants, people were buying things, people were creating things, people were creating content, creating books, creating typewriter poetry. All because they had a little chunk of money for the first time in their fucking lives. And it's like, that could be the circumstance all the time if the wealth wasn't just lodged at, like, Elon Musk has 700 billion fucking dollars. Like, that is a hallucination based on a bunch of rich people deciding we are all going to put the money that we have hoarded into this asset. We're going to buy Tesla stock because we all want it to go up because we're investing in it. We're all agreeing this is a company that, like, this guy, we all are buying the myth that Elon Musk is this genius and he's going to invent all this shit. Electric cars, spaceships, tunnel, whatever the fuck that was. And, like, it's sort of a mutual lie you're telling each other that you believe in. It's a mutual, like, disbelief. It's a mutual derangement. It's a mutual it's almost like Emperor's News Clothes or something, where it's like, yeah, this is worth $700 billion. It's like, based on potential future earnings, based on what? I mean, their profits are nowhere near that, right? Their profits are a few $1 billion a year, and probably most of that is government contracts and shit. So it's fake. It's not even, it's another wealth transference. Is that why people invest in their stocks? Because they can get government contracts? It's just class warfare. It's kind of outrageous that they report on the Dow Jones like it's the economy, like it's this end all be all of the economy, and like we give a fuck. I mean, how many people own stocks? And like what they're saying is like those are the only people that matter. Is like if you have enough stock that this matters to you, that like look, the Dow broke 50,000. Like, to the Epstein class, to the wealthy, to the 1% of people who, like, have enough money to gamble with that they're convinced that their, like, finance people or whatever. They're like making their money through like investment. It's like they had a lot of money to fucking start with, probably. They probably had a shitload of money to invest. Or they stole it through some kind of fucking tax scheme or tax rebate or government, you know. When I was a kid, my friend's dad, who was rich, he knew this guy who was like even richer. This guy had like $50 million or something. I never met the guy, but so he got his money through like he built like fucking the interstate. You know, he was like head of some fucking contractor company or something that like they got big government contracts to like build the interstate. It's like that's how this guy got all his fucking money, and then he ended up in jail. He went to jail because he had been doing fraud or lied on it. I don't know exactly what happened, but he ended up in like federal jail. And all these fucking guys should go to jail. All these defense contractors, so-called Palantir people. And now AI is a part of that. You know, AI is sort of a part of the defense economy, or they're going to want to be, because that's such a huge part of our economy. It's how they justify what they make. Is like, oh, this is for national security. We're Palantir. We need to do surveillance and spy on people, and that's how we killed Osama bin Laden. And you know, all of these guys. Who's the fucking Palantir guy? I don't know his name. Alex something. He's a fucking psycho. You know, all these fucking CEOs and this executive class, people in private jets, when they do these huge, there's two worlds. There's the world that they're living in, a world of tax havens, private jets, you know, flying around to golf tournaments, to various properties they own. I don't even know what the fuck they do. Control, you know, and a lot of it is like insider info, right? This is something we've seen with it's it's almost like Trump wants to be president so he can manipulate the market. You know, these people are obsessed with the market. I guess because it's like, I don't know, the Kentucky Derby for the 1% or something. All their money is in it. You know, Dave Portnoy, right? It's like, oh, I lost 10 million bucks today because of fucking Trump or whatever. And it's like, but he got it back. The Dow's at 50,000. So with Trump, it's like the highs are high, the lows are low, baby. It's like he hits that junky fucking nerve of these gambling addicts who have all of our money. They siphon all of the fucking value that's created. You know, the workers. What about the workers at fucking Amazon? You know, what about the fucking people that make the iPhones? Why is the stock worth so much goddamn money and those people make nothing? You know, it's like slavery still exists. It's all over the fucking planet. It's sweatshops. It's people building iPhones. It's people who make fast fashion. Because the gambling addicts at the top, the mafia fucking accountants, Les Wexner, people who figure out how to play the tax code, how to rip off the government. Because, you know, the government's like the biggest bank of all. It's the biggest piggy bank. It's the sweetest fucking melon. And, you can control, you know, like Trump's trying to control the interest rates. He's trying to get them to slash the interest rates. When they make these announcements, right, one reason why they bombed Iran on late Friday night, because the markets were closed, right? Everybody, and they're closed till Monday. You know, if he would have bombed Iran Monday morning, the stock market immediately would have plummeted. People would have panicked. It would have, he really cares. He doesn't want his homeowners to lose their wealth, right? He could crash the housing market, but he doesn't want his friends to lose their wealth. There's a lot of wealth that they created for the rich people, not for the fucking poor people. They created a lot of, it's almost like they did it on purpose. The pandemic, they certainly used it as an excuse to now it's not just like the money. It's like now they've created this exaggerated wealth difference that's like a barrier. They've fortified their own position by making themselves richer, by making everything else more expensive, by causing inflation. They actually benefit by it. They're in a position, they have enough money, they can weather the inflation. They want to crash the assets, right? A little crash is good because then you buy things cheap. These people thrive on chaos. At least that's what they claim. And so by crashing the market a little bit, it's like they can buy some fucking stocks and then it'll go up, and it's at 50,000 now. So it's like, oh, I got a little bit of a deal on some Tesla stock because the market went down. Whoops. These people know what they're doing. They're trying to rig the game. I mean, Trump owned casinos. He wasn't good at it, but you think the person who owns casinos doesn't know how to cheat? They see everything. They have to know. They have to know what people are doing if they're cheating. So they're learning all the best new methods. I'm sure that's a lot of what goes on at Mar-a-Lago. People pay a lot of money to have an audience with the Godfather, with the Don, with Don Corleone, and the Don of Mar-a-Lago. And I'm sure there were I'm sure there are people pitching him schemes all fucking day. We should do this because if we hit Venezuela, if we hit Iran, boom, we control the oil there. We control China. That's where China gets their oil. China, China, China. Trump's obsessed with China. Iran and Venezuela in a certain way, they're like maybe the rook in the night of China and Russia. Or, who knows? Who knows who's in cahoots with what? I mean, Trump's not really in allegiance with any country per se. I don't think he really cares about the United States. I think he uses the United States as his kingdom. The actual rules of the United States are not relevant. The Constitution, the Supreme Court, he's already got them. He flipped the court, so it's he's immune. They've given him a little, right, they tried to give him blowback on the tariffs, but that's probably another reason why he's doing this war. Because once he is in war power mode, then even the Supreme Court will have to fucking sit down and shut the fuck up. He'll just take over. I mean, the guy, I was just watching a video that said, this is the end of Trump. This is too unpopular. It's you know how many fucking times people have said that? This guy will take it all the way. What has he got to lose? He's shitting his pants. He's 80 years old. He's losing his mind. His ass is fucking caved in from, weird S&M. There's no way it's fun to be in that body. There's no way he's feeling, good. And so, if he's cranky, maybe he'll just take us all out with him. Fuck him. Fuck them all. Fuck you all. I am Trump. This planet is just for me. I'm the ultimate solipsist. You're all not real. None of you matter. I'm the chosen one. I think it's a death wish. I think Trump subconsciously I think there is a certain amount of people that like have a death wish. And that's what Trump is about. Trump is like the death wish. He's why cigarettes are sexy. You know, just bad shit is sexy for some reason. Guns, war, you know, fighting, you know, racism. Maybe not but racism has become fucking like a line that like people get credit for, like sort of sidling or something. Like Clavicular says the N word. He doesn't say the R, but he says the N word. It's like that's him sort of like saying fuck you to, you know, PC leftist woke whatever. And also just like appropriating this dark energy. You know, or just like the way these people like embrace fucking you know, sexual assault culture as sort of a way to be edgy, talk about grape like it's some funny fucking, I don't know. Grape is like, it's so taboo. Women can joke about it. You know, I think women are responsible enough, and it's, you know, it's fair game. It happens to them more. For men to make fun of it, it's kind of cheap. You know, it's not funny. It's not. I mean, it's not funny at all. But if women want to, if it's like a, you know, defense mechanism. You know, like Patricia Lockwood had that poem that went viral. It was like probably one of the last viral poems. Grape poem. And it's, or grape joke. I think it's called grape joke. Because women could relate to it. And it's a way to talk about it, I guess. You know, that's what humor's for. Like I said, most women are responsible enough, I think. And it's a serious thing, you know. I mean, look at Epstein. There's an entire class of people that, like, did not know how to get chicks. They're basically like high-end pickup artists where it's like it's like these guys had everything. They're billionaires. They can buy anything they want, but they still cannot get women to like them. How does Epstein do it? How does he have all these women around him at all times? Jeffrey loves his girls. Well, if you pay for somebody's fucking dental school, you fly them around on private jets and stuff. You know, women in their 20s are incredibly impressionable and susceptible to things like that. In a certain way, it's almost like New York is designed for people who are like helpless to come here and be exploited. You know, there's a certain class of people that's sitting pretty, that has good logistics, they have generational wealth, whatever it is. You know, like Epstein's townhouse, you could not get a better like headquarters than that. The logistics of it. It's like where it's located, the neighborhood, it's a block from Central Park, museums, quiet. And they cared about this shit, you know, that him and Lutnick were emailing about the Frick was going to build some, like, I don't even know, bus stop or something. There was going to be like tour groups on their street like once a week or something. So they're talking about it like to get it shut down. Like, we don't want that. We live here. This is our block. We want it to be quiet. We want it to be discreet. We don't want a bunch of fucking like traffic and poor people, museum goers or school whatever groups. Well, maybe school groups. They'd probably be into that. I am going to do 2 hours or until somebody gets home, whichever comes first. I've had a few people click, you know, which for a Monday afternoon, that's not too bad. It's Lou Reed's birthday. Happy birthday, Lou Reed. It's also Bon Jovi's birthday. I don't know if I want to wish Bon Jovi yet. When I was a little kid, honestly, Bon Jovi was one of the first. The video on MTV where Bon Jovi like flies over the crowd, that had a huge effect on me as a little kid. kind of before, like probably when I was like 3 years old, whenever that video came out. What year was that? And I don't know, for whatever reason, that video just blew my mind. And Bon Jovi was maybe one of the first musicians I like remember like being impressed by. Like, wow. I think his hair, Bon Jovi's hair, and him flying over the crowd for some reason. I just loved this video. Sort of like when Tommy Lee's drum thing like would do flips. In the 80s, they just kind of took it to a new level. Bon Jovi's like flying over the crowd with a mic stand. I'd love to be able to do that. If anybody can rig that up in the KGB bar. I'd love to fly over the crowd singing Bon Jovi. It's Bon Jovi's birthday, so happy birthday, John Bon Jovi. He's got some, monster songs that are so big. Like, I don't really ever want to hear Dead or Alive ever again in my life. As long as I'm alive, I don't want to hear Dead or Alive, that's for sure. Please wait till I'm dead to play it again, because I do not want to hear Dead or Alive. But I don't know. He's got some Runaway is kind of a good song. I don't even know. Why am I talking about Bon Jovi? It's Lou Reed's birthday, so we're doing Lou Reed tonight at KGB. It's Lou Reed night. I still need to practice, kind of. I need to, maybe I should stream that. Clavicular. Well, on Adam Friedland, he's like, Adam Friedland was asking him, what do you like to do besides streaming? And Adam Friedland, being like a millennial or whatever, is like, no, dude, you gotta have other interests. Like, you like playing sports, or what are you into? And Clavicular is like, why would I do anything without streaming it? That's like normie activity. Like, why not stream? And in that moment, I felt seen. For the first time in the media. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Why not stream it? I mean, I don't know. To me, streaming is a hobby, I guess. At this point, I mean, I can't say it's a job in any way. I'm a recreational streamer at best. I'm like a ham radio operator here. Just sort of broadcasting to any goddamn person that'll hear me. Which, I mean, I met a guy yesterday at the clown thing who said he watched one of my live streams. He said it held his attention the whole time. So shout out, namaste. That was cool. Like I said, it does happen to me when I go to events and stuff. Somebody will say, oh, I checked out your live stream. So it's like, not everything has to be some big mass fucking spectacle. And not everybody has to agree with what I say. It's not even about being right or something. It's about just like speaking your truth, telling your side. I mean, especially at this point in history, like I don't necessarily want to be obsessed with politics, although maybe it is just a big part of who I am. I've always been interested in politics. You can't get out of politics. That's what people don't understand. Like, you can't be not political. Like, I think that's what Clavicular said. He said he's not political. It's like you can't not be political. Like if you voted for Trump, like, you're political. And even if you didn't vote, like, lower turnout affects who gets elected. Traditionally, the Republicans get in power when there's lower turnout. So they want there to be lower turnout. They want the voters to be apolitical, libertarians. Like, the government is just a way how we all decide to, like, organize our society together. I think it's good that we have a system that does that, so it's not completely up to fucking Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and people who want to start freedom cities or whatever the fuck. Like, it's nice that there's a public opinion that's involved in some way. City council, Mamdani, the mayor, whatever. Community meetings. You know, Epstein and Lutnick and Woody Allen really are involved in their communities. They don't want a fucking bike lane. They don't want a fucking little, you know, fucking bus stop at the frick. How else would they traffic the children into their, you know, mega mansions discreetly? Into the biggest house in Manhattan. Gee, how did they not see that was going on? Oh, it's kind of conspicuous. It's the biggest house in the whole fucking city. There's a lot of teenage girls going in there. Wonder what that's about. That Epstein sure is quite a... He's like Big Ern McCracken. He's quite a philanthropist. He's really generous with teenage girls who are, you know, tall and skinny and from Eastern Europe, Russia area. And he's racist. His emails are outright racist. There's a lot of shit. He says a slur in the email that's like really old-fashioned. I won't repeat it here, but it's insane. Like, this is how they think about people. There is like a stratification. He says something about the IQ tests in Africa are different or something. It's like, oh my God. And these people were wielding huge power and influence, way more than we realized, I think. It's not just about the child trafficking. You know, the child trafficking is horrific, but it's like, they stole all of our fucking money. They stole all the taxpayer money, and they're using it to live, to control everything, to control entire classes, subsets of people, to organize a stratified society based on their, you know, they probably caused 9/11. You know, they knew what they were doing. They needed a war. They needed motivation for Israel and the United States to really go after these Islamic Middle Eastern countries so they could get oil, but also just so they could, I don't even know, cause Armageddon, cause Messiah to come. Maybe the Messiah will come. Maybe when Trump drops the nuke or something, you know, Jesus Christ CEO will show up. John Christ. The American Christ, the American Jesus. He'll look like Wade Boggs or something. He'll look like Johnny Damon. He'll look like Chad Kroger. Well, he's Canadian, I guess. Yeah, so we have no allies going into this. I mean, not that anybody can fuck with us. I guess on our own, they probably told Trump certain things, like, look, the United States military has this capability. Here's a menu of options, like, that we could do here. We could just kill them all overnight. Literally, we have the power to do that. Like, the United States has such insane, literally anybody on this planet anywhere, we could kill them within 30 minutes probably from outer space, and no one will even know. And in fact, we could probably take out the government of any fucking country, anywhere, at any time, probably. I mean, we have to be able to do that. We're the United States. It's people's jobs to figure this shit out, to figure out the logistics of the whole fucking planet, and just what exactly we have to do to protect ourselves from evil. They didn't even say anything about evil or anything. There was no speech. There was no warning. There was no run-up. There was no propaganda. It was just his decision as king of the United States. King dictator. It's like, this is what I feel is right. Me and Bibi decided. I do think he didn't like... He's using the fact that they killed all these people as justification. They killed 30,000 people, so it's like, all right, we're going to kill them. Fuck that. You know, we have a vibes-based president. Oh, but also we get all this oil, and did he say anything about how we're taking control of their government yet? Like with Venezuela, he's like, oh, we're running this shit now. Did he say that everybody run? Oh, United States is running this now, by the way. By the way, I'm running this shit. This is now my shit. On the big risk board of planet Earth, this is now blue United States pieces. We're moving our little regiments. We're kicking your ass out. Venezuela, Iran, we're taking over. We're taking control. We killed Maduro. Or we put him in jail. What the hell did we do to him? Is he dead yet? Has he committed suicide in prison? T minus how long before Maduro kills himself in prison? I mean, are the prisons really that bad? Epstein wasn't even there that long. You know, he was in jail for like a few weeks. I don't even know if it was a month. He got arrested in July of 2019, which is insane. How the fuck was the guy not arrested until 3 years into Trump is beyond me. Like, I thought Epstein had been called out way before that. And he didn't get arrested until July 2019. He died August 9th, 2019. That's not even a month. Like, the jail's not that bad. Like, that guy, I don't think, wanted to die. Like, I think he knew he could have ratted on everybody. That was his whole fucking thing, is he had dirt on everybody. That's why he was filming everything. That's why he had to die. He knew everything. He knew how they all cheated on their fucking taxes and how they robbed people's pensions and how they cheated on their insurance and how they did 9/11 and how they fucking, you know, laundered all the money into their fucking fashion company, which is a front for international arms dealing and Israel, you know, building up Israel. Like, I just don't get it. Like, are the Jews, they really care that much? They really want to go back to that place that badly? Like, to this war-torn, like, dangerous, like, is it really that great? What is the deal? Do they really believe the religious aspect of it? I mean, I suppose the Christians do to some degree, but it's like, I don't even know if that many Christians go to Israel, or Jerusalem. You know, it's like it's a holy land of Jesus. It's like I don't think that many Christians even go there. Like, I don't know how many people in my family have been there, but I don't think that many. Certainly nobody in my immediate family that I'm aware of. I think maybe my uncle had been there, but like, there wasn't like, hey, when you're in your teens, we're going to pay for a trip for you to go to fucking Jerusalem to see what Jesus did. Like, Christian kids go on mission trips and things like that. Maybe that's available, but like, I never really heard of anything like that. It's not like across the fucking religion. Everybody does it that I'm aware of. Like, oh, we're going to go to Jerusalem and see Jesus. Is like the holy sites. But all of the Jews do this. And I guess they want their own country. It's as much about that, which is odd, I suppose, that like people identify enough, like, you know, because Jewish is a religion. You know, it's not like, I mean, I suppose the other religions might have their own, like the Vatican or something, but, you know, the idea is they were dispersed thousands. They really hold on to this. You know, everybody's been dispersed. The Irish been dispersed, and the fucking Native American, like, people get dispersed. It's part of the warlike nature of this fucking planet. It's not just America. It's not just the Jews. You know, there's a lot of ethnic cleansings that have been taking place over thousands and thousands of fucking years all over the fucking place. And people moving in and killing everybody and raping everybody. I'm not saying it's good. Hopefully we could move beyond that in the age of fucking Instagram and TikTok and social media, and, you know, hopefully we can move beyond that. But, okay, I guess the Jews, they want to be self-governing, they want to have self-sovereignty, they want to nuke, and that's a part of it, having IDF, having this strong military, having advanced weaponry is a part of defending themselves and you know, getting, I guess, a permanent homeland for like their identity, right? Even though I don't know, countries' identities are being assailed in the globalized, world. It's just like the borders they mean a different thing now. Everything is kind of reshuffling genetically or race wise. I mean, in America, that is a requirement. I think America is like a container. It's a blank slate. There is not any, other than the indigenous people, the Native Americans. There's no one who has a claim that America belongs to them. Not white people. Like everybody, America is a multicultural identity because it was a new country, at least to these people who stole it and killed everybody. They used it as like a new, empty kind of page. And so I think part of the concept, it's not like France or England where it's like there's thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking years or whatever of this local language and those countries, they have a little bit more of a specific identity. They have their own language, whatever, their own architecture, their own art style, aesthetic, whatever it is. European countries, all over the countries, whereas like America, we erased what was here basically with violence. And so to me, it's an immigrant country, and whoever immigrates here, that's part of what America is. The idea, the concept, America is like a concept. A lot of America is like there's sort of these generative ideas that you can deduce and say things about and so multicultural diversity is a huge part of that. And that, there is no state religion, separation of church and state, freedom of speech, freedom to say what you want, freedom to fucking, due process, all of that stuff gives, it may have been limited in scope when they wrote it to be only men or whatever. These people are 3/5 of a person or whatever it is. But like we can see the intent that there's supposed to be equality. So that's what America is about to me. It's about equality and freedom. Meaning whatever the fuck it is you do, wherever you come from, we're all immigrants here for the most part. And we should honor the people who fucking were here, the indigenous people. They should have a big say. They should definitely have a bigger power and a bigger presence in our country. It's their fucking country. Until we embrace that, until native people are assimilated into our government in a bigger way, it's sort of a lie. And so it doesn't necessarily belong to white people. It doesn't belong to white people. But I will say, this is something that when I was a kid, I remember them talking about, the demographics are going to change by 50 years from now. White people are going to be this percentage versus now. And it's just interesting the like pragmatic effects that has. White, Trump is a symptom of that in a way. It's white people feeling their lessening cultural stranglehold and having to reckon with diversity and not wanting to let go of that. And the Republican Party, that's not just Trump. That's the fucking Republican Party. It's always been the party of the fucking white people who own everything. The people who don't want to pay taxes. And in Reagan era, that was like 80% of the fucking country. Now it's less. There's way more diversity. There's way more people of color. And so, the Democratic Party is more like a coalition. That's how they kind of, it's still race, it's still like completely racial. And gender, right? It's men and whitey on the right, and it's diversity and women on the left. and queer people. And um, I am gonna get off in 20 minutes because I got to get ready, man. I mean, it's 2:30. I want to get to all my points. I will probably get on tomorrow, but I think we're making some important points here. It's just like it's weird how that's reverberating through our politics. It feels like it's got to be all one way or the other. It's like you're either a leftist who votes for Zorhan Mamdani or you're fucking racist, looks max or Mauger. You might as well be Nick Fuentes, clavicular, manosphere, incel. Not that I'm necessarily in the middle. I wouldn't consider myself a centrist. Like I think I don't know. How many people out there are center? What the hell does that even mean? That means I guess you're not a socialist. You're not like a leftist. You're not a. See, I don't really want to fall into any of the prescribed identity categories. It's like they want us to play into these factions where it's like everybody parrots the same fucking things, and the leftists, that's what they do. It's like they all parrot the same kind of signifiers. That's how you signify you're like one of them and you're not a lame ass libtard. It's better to be MAGA than a libtard. You're blue MAGA if you're like a Hillary Kamala person. You're blue MAGA. And I don't know. I've with America, you are forced to pick these incredibly generalized candidates where it's like maybe they don't give you everything you want. For the most part, the Democrats, I feel like, are pretty good at governing. To be honest, they try. Biden was pretty woke. He tried to get the student loan forgiveness thing passed. It got vetoed by Republicans. The Democrats, it's not totally just theater or controlled opposition. That's just something people say to sound hipper and to sound like they're above it all. It's like you got to participate somehow. If this is, let's just try to keep electing Democrats and see what happens. Things will move further and further to the left. If we keep electing Democrats, that will make something more possible because people, now it's like people's educations are being degraded, their food supplies being degraded. These people on the top want to poison us. It's not enough for them to just control everything. They want to kill us. They want to debilitate us. They want us to suffer and die out as quickly as possible. It's sinister. And they pull all the strings and they call the shots. They run everything. They really do. I've always thought it's stupid that we have this 40-hour work week and the gospel of working, and you have to have a job, and the dogma of, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I would get a job if it was reasonable, if it was worth my time, and if there was a work-life balance. If I could work 16 hours a week, let's say, and make enough money to like afford an apartment and food and to like travel a little bit, have a little bit extra so I could buy people things, so I could pay for the check at dinner or whatever, that would be worth it to me. But in America, you are just sold this bill of goods your whole life that like you got to work your ass off and do whatever your boss says. Like you got to get a paycheck and you got to eat shit, basically. Learn to love it. You don't like it, you better learn to love it. And I'm not really a lazy person per se. If I could be employed doing things that like uh I felt were my best contribution to the world. You know, being a clerk in a store or something, or if you can even get that job, uh, you know, working at Target or working at a whatever. Like, is that, I don't know. That's not a bad way, but it's like our whole culture is based on subjugating people into these roles and preparing them to expect that. And it's not worth their time. It's dehumanizing. Get paid $8 an hour or 12. I don't even know. I mean, now the minimum wage is higher, but when I was in the manual labor class, it wasn't even worth it. You know, I think I got paid $7.50 an hour at Strader's. It's like that was not worth it. Like, first of all, you couldn't live on it. Like, it paid some expenses, but like, if you want to make a living in this country, you have to work yourself past the point of like discomfort. It's like you're going to be in physical pain at your job. It's going to be almost more than you can tolerate. Like, if you work more than 4 days a week or even 4 days a week, it's like your life is your job. You have and that's 4 days a week is like part time to most people. And it's getting harder and harder to live without a job and just sort of skate by part timing it or doing gigs or, you know, I think they wanted to get rid of that. They don't want people to have time to organize, to think, to create things, to form relationships, to have a third space, to form a community. They want you on your fucking phone. You know, they want you on a screen. And basically they want you broke and to die or like join the military, I guess, is probably where it's headed. Now it's like AI is going to do everything. AI is going to take all the white collar jobs. They said you're better off if the word people are better off than the math people, is what they're saying. The way that AI is going. I find that hard to believe. I don't imagine any future where like being good at writing sentences is going to like be that fucking. Maybe I'm way off. I mean, supposedly writing AI prompts is the next, like, to me that's not really writing. That's like being a copywriter or something. It's like, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that? Like, fuck that. Video is one thing because it's like all you do is press record and sit there. The camera does everything, you know? You're just like a witness. You're there to see. Whereas like writing stuff, it's like, oh my god, it's not a passive thing. If I'm writing something, I don't want to go home and write more stuff after I've like written stuff professionally, really. Video, it's like you travel around, you're always filming interesting stuff. You get to use your own ideas about shots, and it's like you're making a little movie. So it's an automated process in a lot of ways. So anyway, I don't know. To me, that's kind of the 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 impact of the emails that affects all of us is the idea that it's sort of a peek behind the curtain at how these elites just sort of herd us around like cattle. They make these giant decisions. They steal, you know, billions of dollars. They steal huge, 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 huge amounts of money, of our money. This is what everybody's so pissed about, their tax dollars and the debt. And I don't want to pay income tax because the government just wastes it. Government waste. Or it goes to these wars that we don't like. I'm a Republican. I don't like war. They were pretty jazzed about the Iraq war in Afghanistan, if you ask me. They were pretty gung-ho. Ask Toby Keith. There's fucking songs about it. They lasted forever. You know, those wars lasted fucking forever before anybody really even said shit about it. You know, that's the other thing that people don't realize. Like with a lot of these situations, like the Democrats are in a tough position because you have to be strong. If the Democrats were soft, people would just accuse them of, you know, if the Democrats, like for instance, you know, if they didn't help Ukraine, or if they didn't, you know, they didn't have to support Israel the way they did, but like, you know, the Democrats get vilified for being soft on crime, soft on, you know, not strong enough on defense. What are they going to do to protect us? What are they going to do for national security? You know, the Democrats, like the Republicans, it's like they start these fucking wars that make people believe that like we're safer or something. Like, oh yeah, we're our army's kicking somebody's ass, so it's like that shit is not making us safer. It's making us probably more endangered. You know, it's fucking up everybody's life here because everybody's got PTSD, or there's all this violence here, mass shootings. You know, a lot of the generation of men are fucking fucked in the head because of combat, or they're maimed or something. And where did that money go? We're getting less and less of it. They're stealing more and more of it. The wealth inequality is like unbearable. And so now it's like everything is incredibly expensive for like an average person because it's like you can't even pay your rent on a full-time salary. It's so expensive. So I don't even know how anybody's doing it. Are they winning on FanDuel? Is that how people are paying their rent, through like parlay bets? Um, you know, there's no way to make money in like any honest way. You can't get like rich by like buying a house through like a regular job anymore and like building wealth that way. It's like the houses are so expensive that the people who already own them, their house is worth $1 million fucking dollars, but they can't sell it because nobody can buy it because nobody has any money. So it's worth $1 million somehow, because I don't even know, because there's high demand but nobody can afford it. Like, you'd think if it wasn't selling they would lower the price. Isn't that what the fucking market does? Like, somebody was saying the property taxes in New York don't affect your rent. The rent is set by the market. It's like I don't know that that's true. I think if the property tax goes up, the landlord is going to raise your rent because it's more expensive for them now to pay their fucking property tax. And they're going to say, well, I have to. That's what the market is telling me. It's like, uh, it seems like a lot of these market prices are just like whatever they can get away with. At least that's what they've decided. You know, like the market used to be a lot lower. It jumped up a lot. You know, 10 years ago you could find an apartment for maybe $600. You know, you could find a room, and in some places you could probably find an apartment for $600 or $700. You know, in Columbus, Ohio, in 2015, I think you could probably find an apartment for $700, maybe 600. And now it's like I don't even know what it's probably, you know, everything's $2,000 all of a sudden. It's like that's more than just like the market. That is a choice that a bunch of people at the top who decided everything, they, you know, maybe private equity doesn't own everything. You know, like they said, private equity I think only owns 20% of the housing stock in the single family or something, and maybe they don't own everything, but they buy enough, and they use algorithms to set their prices, which have nothing to do with like the local market. You know, they're not a local buyer. They're a national interest. They might not even ever see this fucking property. They're purely buying it in quantity so they can make more money. They're buying more volume. And they don't care. They don't really care what it is, other than the statistics that they see on the internet, on the whatever the fuck statistics they have. They don't probably look a whole lot closer than that. They can see everything they need to see on the internet now. You can look at Google View or probably photos of the house or something. And so they raise the price through the algorithm or whatever, and then all the mom and pops in the neighborhood see, oh fuck, they're charging 1,500 for that place now that I'm charging 700 because I'm just a mom and pop. I don't really care. I just want a good tenant. But fuck, they're charging that much? Okay, well, we got to bump ours up too because otherwise we're just getting ripped off. You know, they can influence, they can dictate the market, basically, if they own enough. Uh, because now everybody's expenses are higher. The mom and pop has to make more money to cover their overhead, so they have to charge more. They can't charge what they were charging before. Their property value went up because of quantitative easing. And there's liquidity everywhere that has to be parked in real estate. And so now all of a sudden, all these rich people with no taste have money to buy shit. All these crypto people have money to buy shit. And they're buying a bunch of tacky. They're buying everything. And so I don't know. It drives the cost up. And they just decided that it's going to cost this much for everybody. They decided this is what you can tolerate. That's to me what the market is in this country. It's like what will the people tolerate before like there's an uprising, I guess. Before they die. How far can we push them? How much financial pressure can we add to their life? How much can we raise the rent before like they just there's either going to be a mass uprising or they're going to just like I don't know, be worked to death, put out on the street, put in jail because they're homeless, become more and more desperate so they have to I don't know, take jobs they don't want, join the military, join Palantir, join ICE. There's a $50,000 bonus to join ICE. But they also have no concept of money. These people are so rich they don't know how much a gallon of milk costs or bread if they do, they don't know what it means. They think that like you can just cover your expenses working some easy job or something. They've never had a job in their life. They don't know what it's like trying to make ends meet. They're part of the aristocracy. They've had a fucking silver spoon in their mouth the whole time. They're flying around on private jets and shit. Everything, they have a staff. They have chefs. They have servants, basically. So they're living on these like plantations, basically. Epstein was like a sex plantation where it's like he has all these fucking people that are like his servants, his slaves. He pays them, but it's like that's how easily people can be bought. Everything is justified based on like, well, it's a job, you're making money. You're making $75,000 a year, so they can do whatever they want, make you sign an NDA, and they just buy and sell people, literally. They create an economic situation where they're so much higher than us on a different plateau. We're just like fuel for them. We're little things they collect. We're just little utensils. We're tools. for their own pleasure, for their own convenience, for their own power. And they've got us hypnotized. I mean, I don't know why people are still going to work. And this Epstein thing, is it just going to go away because of this war? I mean, supposedly Iran has the unredacted Epstein files. Or at least that's what the misinformation on Twitter tells me. Twitter is a fucking cesspool now. Jesus Christ. It's unbelievable how much fake shit is on Twitter right now. Once that thing about the Ayatollah dying, there was like all these tweets that were like, Ayatollah possibly dead. Then they just started to tweet all this other shit about this person's dead, this person's dead, and you didn't know what was true. It said fucking, I don't think it said Netanyahu was dead, but I think it was somebody like that. And you're like, this seems fake. But you don't know. So there's going to be confusion, misinformation. Now Larry Ellison, they literally own everything. You know, this is what I mean is they're making big moves. They're consolidating. They're buying all of the media. They own TikTok. They own Paramount. They own Warner Brothers. They own CNN. They own CBS. They own Twitter. They own fucking YouTube, more or less. I mean, all of the tech people are sort of in alliance against us. And they own all of the fucking channels of dissemination. You know, all of the old media is gone. All of the newspapers, all of that infrastructure, 60 Minutes, it's gone. Colbert, gone. And they're going to get rid of more of it. Local newspapers, gone. Alt weeklies, gone. So everything's online. Everything's a fucking Instagram account or a TikTok or a Substack or and so now they're going to control what we see, who gets clicks, who gets views. People like Clavicular, people like Nick Fuentes, people like Jordan Peterson, these right-wing fucking douchebags. People like Theo Vaughn, Andrew Schultz, Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, Rogan. You know, all of the wrong people are getting huge fucking audiences because it's lowest common denominator, and that's the slop that they want people to believe. They want to de-educate. Why do you think they own the textbooks? So they can make everybody stupid. They don't want you to know anything. They want you to be stupid. And people are stupid. That's why they voted for him. That's why they thought he was an anti-war candidate, because they're stupid. They have no critical thinking skills. They like his vibe. They like his memes. He's entertaining. He's funny. Like Tony Hinchcliffe or like Shane Gillis. They're one and the same. Shane Gillis's Trump impression. Woody was hanging out with Epstein. It's sickening how close they were. I do think Epstein was like funneling girls to Woody Allen, and Sun Yi was like down. I think Woody Allen was partaking in the child rape. All right. Well, anyway, I got to get going. I will be back on probably tomorrow because there's just so goddamn much to talk about. But I think we got some good clips here. Good clip farm. I mean, I'm not wearing the right clothes, really, and I'm kind of unkempt. But, you know, I'm getting followers on TikTok. It's a slow fucking uphill battle. But I've got, you know, I'm getting a couple followers for every video. And YouTube shadow banned me. I was getting 0 views on my shorts. I think because I'm so outspoken about the Epstein thing. I can't believe that more people aren't talking about it. Not even the sordid parts of it. Not even the eyes wide shut parts of it. I mean, that's all crazy, but like, to me, it's also about a window into this network of power and seeing how they confer with each other. David Stern, Epstein, Woody Allen. Howard Lutnick, Trump. A lot of them are in the White House right now, and adjacent and connected, and Rothschild. Like, not to be a conspiracy theorist or anti-Semitic, but connect the dots, sheeple. And Les Wexner, and how they brainwash people into mass hypnosis, believing what they want them to believe, so they are sources of income, sources of power. They're siphoning your energy to, Les Wexner is siphoning millions of people's energy, employees, consumers. I saw this video of this girl talking about, Les Wexner and Epstein basically shaped their whole fucking like youth, standards of beauty, what you're supposed to smell like, what you're supposed to look like, what clothes, what underwear you're supposed to wear, what your body's supposed to look like. Wexner, and by extension, Epstein. Epstein may have been calling the shots. He may have been like, no. I mean, Wexner's gay. He doesn't give a fuck. Epstein's the horn dog. He's the one that's objectifying women, probably. So these people in these positions of power, Hollywood, television, whatever it is, they control what people think. Brain rot made this possible. That was something I wanted to talk about. It's like Trump, the reason why Trump got elected is because brain rot. Everybody's got brain rot because they watch videos, or they don't read, they don't know how to read, they didn't learn anything in school. AI is sort of, we're outsourcing our mental fucking capacity to AI. Just have AI do everything. AI will write the papers. AI will just plan the war. AI will write the articles. AI will like the posts. I've got a little click farm. I saw this thing. It was, Tate McRae click farm. And it was like all of these phones were just like watching Tate McRae videos on loop. They were all plugged in. So all day, every day, they're just farming views, farming clicks, farming engagement. So I've got a little click farm here. Between my, why not fake it? Everybody else is. Everything's fake now. Smash your face with a hammer so you have fucking big bone structure. Get, fake jaw surgery. Get hair implants. You have to be fake. If you want to look good on the internet, you have to look fake. You have to look synthetic. Otherwise, how are you going to compete with the AI influencers and the mega chads? The giga chads.